Okay, welcome back to another video. So, in this one, I'm going to talk about getting hurt versus getting injured and the differences. If there is a difference and the prevention of them, if there is a prevention. So, the funny thing is, every time I've ever been hurt or injured, there has been no warning signs. Like, anytime I've ever had any incidents, there is never any warning signs. It always just kind of happens. And that's the craziest part about it. You can't predict an injury or getting hurt. And the difference between an injury and getting hurt is getting hurt is like, oh, I got a cramp, or like, man, my pec hurts, or my elbow hurts, or my knee hurts, but there's no direct cause for that aggravation or irritation. It bothers you and it's uncomfortable, but it's manageable. So that's being hurt. Being injured is when something tears, rips, pops, or just separates, and there's an immediate like pain that follows it with swelling or bruising or immediate loss of use of that area or in general. So the reason why I want to bring this up is because I've noticed a lot of times when I get hurt, it's actually outside of the gym. I very rarely actually get hurt under the barbell. It's normally doing some oddball stuff in my normal day-to-day life. Like I was working on my wife's Jeep this weekend. Her window motor regulator messed up, so her window fell. So I pinched the window, one hand on the outside, one hand on the inside, to slide the window back up to get it to close, so that way no rain or no water would come in. And when I did this, I felt a strain in my left pectoral, not my one that has that ripped away that got surgery on, but the other one. But I felt the pain exactly where the other one ripped, so it's kind of like a little eerie like reminder of how quickly things could go wrong for me, especially because the PTS came in with a pec. Then fast forward a couple hours later, the window started dropping again, and me forgetting that I just kind of strained my pec a little bit by squeezing as hard as I could on the window to slide it up. I did it again, but this time I kind of felt something pop in the pectoral area. Now, this was on, I want to say Sunday morning, which was yesterday, and there is no bruising and there is no significant signs of like blood pooling up in the muscle. So that's a sign that I didn't tear anything, at least where there's any major blood flow. It doesn't mean I couldn't fray or pop a little bit of the tendon or frayed the tendon some, but what I think what happened was I just happened to strain in a way that caused the tendon to roll, and the pop that I felt was the tendon rolling, hopefully is what it was. But I have a lot of stiffness in the pec and it bothers me a lot. So tonight I actually had to back off of my chest training dramatically. So I might just have to avoid training my chest for the next 4 to 5 weeks and doing very light movements with like 5-10 pound dumbbells, just getting a range of motion, keeping the pec active while it heals up. Because like I've been saying this whole time, I'm not in a hurry to get hurt or injured. I'm not in a rush to cause any serious injuries to myself. And if I can back off for 4 or 5, 6 weeks and do very, very light full range of motions and recover the area to where I could get back to full lifting, I'd rather lose a couple weeks of training versus months or years from completely damaging the area.
Yeah. For me, I haven't really ever, as far as I can recall, dealt with like any serious injuries of any sort, like no tears or anything like that. But I,
But you have had issues like with your wrist and your surgery on your wrist, the surgery on your back for the cyst being removed, and you have had issues though. May not been like injuries, but you have had things that actually held you back that caused pain that you had to work around. So you still understand like the concept of having to work around pain, like with your wrist and stuff.
yeah, but like most of my stuff though comes from more of like the mobility standpoint, like doing shoulder movements. Certain shoulder movements, they bother my shoulder. Like I don't have that range of motion fluidly, so I have to figure out like placement and like maneuver the body around a little bit to get it to where like I can move my arm in that direction and not feel like a grinding sort of sensation or whatever it might be. Or same thing with like doing squats or and just like the dead like Romanian deadlifts. I have to work with the mobility that I have at the moment until I can increase the mobility. But yeah, like the vast majority of my like hurting kind of issues is through the mobility side of things. I've never, like I said, I've never really dealt with like a serious injury of like something tearing or something like that. Yeah, like I had the surgery on the wrist and my back, but outside of the like wrist area, like the back doesn't bother me at all, but the wrist area, I still don't have like full sensation or feeling in the area. It's kind of a weird feeling, but it, and then like just placing my hand in certain ways, it kind of gives it like a sharp pain, like almost like there's something inside of there kind of poking me, sort of thing. But outside of those issues right there, like I said, the vast majority of my stuff has always been mobility. I have terrible, horrible mobility.
Okay. Well, with that being said, also you did hurt your back years ago. I mean, years ago you did have back issues, but turned out that it was your back just needed to be adjusted. So you went to a chiropractor, but you dealt with that for weeks. You were going to the doctor; they were giving you painkillers, telling you there was nothing you could do about it. You're going to have to deal with it. It hurt getting up and off the couch or sitting back down. Like it put you in agonizing pain where you could barely move, and you had to deal with that for weeks, if not months, if I remember correctly. And then finally you started going to the chiropractor, and they got you adjusted and lined back up, then your back pains went away. So you have been hurt before to a point where you were like immobile, and it affected your day to day, not let alone like your gym life. And like I've been hurt many, many, many times, and I've had two serious injuries where I hyperextended my knee, tore my ACL, and then I ripped the pec completely off of the tendon. So those are two major injuries I've had. I've had other injuries where I tore intercostals on both sides of my rib cage, my left and right. I've dropped a barbell rolled out of my hands, benching 340, 345 at full extension, came down, broke my sternum. That was another injury that I had. So I've had injuries. I tore my tricep. So I've had injuries, and then I've had a lot of points in time that I've been hurt, like my knees or being out of alignment with my back or my hips or my elbows or shoulders, or having impingement or just something building up over time, arthritis, just other things, And then every single time I've gotten either like I've been hurt or I've gotten injured, there's never been any telltale signs. There's never like any indicators. And people say, "Oh, listen to your body, listen to your body." I've never found any indicators letting me know. I've torn my groin. Actually, that's another one. I tore both groins, one at one time, the other one at another time completely. I've torn my hamstring. Those are pops and tears with lots of bruising. So like I said, and none of these had any indications or signs that said, hey, this is about to rip or it's about to let go. It's about to happen. Everything felt good. Everything felt great. There was nothing that indicated. And this is doing contrast baths, hot and cold, and ice bath to hot tub, ice bath to hot tub. This is doing inversion tables, deep tissue, doing massage gun therapy, doing all kinds of stuff, stretching, mobility drills, hydration, like everything you could possibly do to prevent yourself from getting hurt and staying mobile and keeping yourself healthy, I have done. But it gets to the point where the body starts to wear down and things just happen. I think some people are more prone to injury than others, like me, myself. Unfortunately, I'm more prone to injury. My mom, she's very brittle. She gets hurts all the time. She sneezes wrong and she'll break a rib. My mom's very, very brittle. And I think I inherited that from her, unfortunately. So there's things on me that go wrong, just like with me squeezing my wife's window and trying to slide it up, and I hurt my pec. So that's something that I'm hurt. It's not injured, but if I keep pushing it, and now it's like, listen to your body, right? Like there was no indication that my pec was going to do that until it did it. And now it's at the point where it's like, okay, listen to your body because you're hurt. And this hurt can lead to injury. So when people say listen to your body, I think in a roundabout way that's how I take it. I don't know how other people mean it, but it's like, oh, my knee's kind of bothering me. So listen to my body. Where's it coming from? Oh, it's my hip, or it's my ankle, or it's my back. Oh, my elbow's bothering me. It's coming from my back or my scapula, my shoulder blade somewhere. Oh, this is hurting me. It's coming from this. Take care of this before this hurting becomes injury. And I think that's how I view it when people say listen to your body, because I know personally for me, anytime I've ever got hurt, it just kind of creeped up on me. And anytime I got injured, it just happened. And the funny thing is, any real injury I've ever had, there was no, oh, my hip's tight today, or my knee's kind of bugging me, or my groin's a little stiff, or, oh, well, my pec feels a little sore, or, oh, well, my tricep feels a little funky today. There's never been any indications. Actually, when I felt my strongest and I was at my absolute healthiest, that I got actual injuries. And the most of my injuries in the gym weren't even from lifting heavy. They were from warming up. Like almost every one was from a warm up, except for my pec ripping off. That one was not a max attempt because I could bench way more than that, but for the day it was my max attempt in the competition. But every other time it was literally on a warm up. Like I've tore a tendon in my toe, I've torn a tendon in my index finger, I've torn one in my ring finger, and every time it's on something very light, very stupid, or a warm up. It's never something that's like brag, oh, well, I did this, but whenever I was doing that, the only bragging rights that I have, if you can even call it that, is when I tore my pec in competition on my third attempt. But other than that, like, there's never been any indication. Like, when it goes, it goes. At least that's my experience for how long I've been. I've been doing this since I've been 14, and I'm 36 now.
Yeah, and you're correct. Like my back, that was what, like 10-ish, 10, 11 years ago, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it was about a week that it was just bothering me, and I refused to really do anything about it. But like, you talked me into going to the chiropractor, saw them, they were able to adjust me and get it figured out. And I guess I had like a pinched nerve or something that was causing the issue, so that helped a lot. I got to sneeze, and it's fading. Okay, there it goes. But yeah, so like that was pretty bad. But yeah, like I said, the majority of my stuff, like I said, mobility wise, like I was saying, and like as soon as I can better that stuff, I think I'll have some like just better like reactions and everything like that to my overall like health and general workouts and everything like that. But again, it's not a exact science, because like I said, I could correct all the mobility issues in the world and still end up, like you're saying, like something can just go wrong one day, and I go to do a simple movement or pick up something or just anything, and like that's it. Whoop, and something's torn.
Well, yeah, so it's like with Branch Warren, right? Branch Warren, he tore the quadricep completely off the knee, and he slipped in the rain, and he tore the quadricep completely off the knee, and he never got hurt in the gym. Branch Warren got ridiculed for his form and his workout techniques, but he never once got hurt or injured in the gym. Never. Fell off a horse, tore the quadricep again. Like, he got hurt outside of the gym and injured outside the gym. It was never in the gym. And that for me, that's what I've noticed too. If I get hurt or injured, it's typically outside the gym. And if it happens at the gym, it happens on sub-maximal weights. It's never on a max effort or max attempt. It's always on a warm-up when I'm feeling healthy, I'm feeling strong, and I've been doing really good. Like, it's never like I felt weak that day or dehydrated or something feels off today or I don't know if I should even attempt this. It's always on a day that my hydration is good, my diet's good, and I'm, like I said, I feel at my absolute healthiest and my absolute strongest. And I always get hurt whenever the weight is sub-maximal going to a warm-up. And when I say sub-maximal, I mean, you let's say like you're benching 400 pounds, you're warming up with 155 and you get hurt. Like, that low of percentage versus what you're actually maxing out on, like pinching a window and then hurting your pec, right? It's just, it's unbelievable. So like I said, listen to your body for whatever that's worth, and then, do what you can to stay injury free. I know I have over the years. I use massage guns, stretching, decompression, chiropractics, deep tissue, contrast baths. I do everything in my power to keep me injury free, but I try to do the best form that I could possibly do. And almost it seems like the more strict I am on my form, the more I get hurt. That's the crazy thing. The stricter and more aggressive I am, and the more I work on my technique, whenever I'm just kind of loosely lifting it and I'm just loosely moving it around, it never seems like anything hurts. But it's whenever I really get strict on my form that things start to hurt. And I'm not saying this is an advocate to, hey, go sloppy on your form and don't worry about your technique, because you should always try to improve on your form and technique. But like I said, it doesn't mean just because you have perfect form and perfect technique, you're not going to get hurt. And I know my form isn't perfect and my technique's not perfect, but I've been doing this for a long time. So there's some movements that just feel uncomfortable getting into some positions and stuff. But I just don't think that there's like, oh, it's because your form, or it's because your hydration or your diet or your training. Because I've been hurt powerlifting. I've been hurt bodybuilding. I tore a tendon in my finger by picking up a 5-pound piece of sheet metal. Like who does that? Who tears a tendon in their finger picking up a 5-pound piece of sheet metal, right? It's unbelievable the ways that I've been hurt and injured. So I hate it when it happens, but it's one of those things, man. Like, it's just, I'm brittle.
Yeah. But it happens to everybody with age. Like we all get to that stage kind of thing, and it's just going to keep getting worse, I'm sure. But again, that's why we try and do everything we can to eliminate and avoid those type of situations, I would say. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but I've been brittle like my whole life, apparently, man. Like, just brittle, man. It's very unfortunate and stuff. So I think that's going to be it for me on this one. I don't really know how much in depth I really talked about anything. I feel like I kind of rambled there, but hopefully someone takes something away from this video. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, hey guys, we appreciate you guys stopping by and checking us out. If you made it this far in the video, if you go ahead and leave a like, we'd appreciate it. And if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe, if you have not subscribed yet, and if you don't want to, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. But thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Catch you later.